Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there.
Alright, people, as we all know, I think the overwhelming majority of fans really want to see Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. And I believe there is still a slim chance that we will get to see this fight this year at some point. Obviously not in the immediate future, but hopefully maybe towards the back end of the year or maybe just after summer. I'm still holding out a little slimmer of hope that we can get this fight over the line. Obviously, we would have loved to have seen it in the coming couple of weeks. April 29th, we would have loved to have had the announcement a couple of weeks ago that this fight was ready to go, signed and sealed. Well, ideally, a lot earlier in the year, we would have loved to have had that, but it didn't happen, right? We know the ins and outs. Didn't happen. As is the way, boxing, as to say, time waits for no man, and it's the same in boxing. Things change, and we got to talk about what's next for both guys. So with Alexander Usyk, we're hearing Wilder, Dubois, potentially Hrgovic. We're hearing those names. Obviously, you would say Joyce as well, but he's got his fight this weekend against Zhilei Zhang. So there's no guarantee. Look, I'll be picking Joe Joyce, and I have to do a video and previewing that fight, but there's no guarantee he comes through that fight unscathed. Let's put it like that. I certainly see Joe Joyce beating Zhilei Zhang. I think he is the better of the two. But there's no guarantee he doesn't come through with maybe a cut or an injury or it's a much tougher fight and we have to wait a couple of months before he's ready to go again. You just don't know. So that's what we're talking about with Alexander Usyk. In terms of Tyson Fury, we're hearing Andy Ruiz, Bob Arum was talking about this, that he is looking likely to be the front runner to be Tyson Fury's opponent more than likely this summer. Now, obviously with Ruiz, former unified heavyweight champion, you know, he's lost to Joshua and he's lost to Parker. And they were world title fights. So his only losses have come against, well, Joseph Parker at the time was seen as a top 5 heavyweight. And that was for a world title. It was a vacant title. And a lot of people, myself included actually, feel as though Ruiz was very hard done by in that fight. That was in New Zealand as well, by the way. And it was a really competitive fight. That was really kind of, I'm going a bit off topic here, but that was really, to me, the first time Joseph Parker really showed, what would you say, mental fragility. You know, it wasn't like he capitulated, but Joe Parker, I would say, is the better fighter of the two. And boy, did he fight within himself. That's the first real time we seen it. And interestingly enough, it was his first real step up since he had that tough fight against Carlos Takam. I still maintain that fight maybe psychologically wrecked Joseph Parker. You know, not in terms of physically, he didn't take that much punishment in it, but the fact it was a tough fight, he gassed quite bad, he couldn't really put a dent in Carlos Takam. For me, he's never recovered from that fight. I don't think he's ever recovered mentally from that fight, because it seemed like that fight took the fight and the dog right out of Joe Parker. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We'll talk about Ruiz versus Fury. How do I feel about that fight? I don't think it's too bad. If I look at the top 10 of heavyweight, you know, let's take guys like Parker out, let's take guys like Ortiz out, because Luis Ortiz, he's still, well, according to the Ring magazine, is still ranked in the top 10 of heavyweight, despite the fact I think he is well and truly past it. If you're looking at top 5 heavyweights, and, you know, if you want to be generous, you could maybe have Ruiz in there at number 5. I mean, 1 and 2, Fury, Usyk, have it whatever way you want, I don't really mind. I'd probably put Wilder 3, Joshua 4, and then Ruiz in there at number, well, Ruiz or Joyce in there at number 5. You might actually argue that Joe Joyce should be number 3, actually, because he's not coming off the back of any losses. He's doing quite well for himself now in his career. But Ruiz is there. He's in the argument for top 5. In the argument. He's currently number 2 ranked by WBC. Obviously, the WBC ordered him versus Wilder. Team Wilder seem to be going their separate way, go down whatever road, we don't know, but looks unlikely we're going to see Ruiz versus Wilder. So then, and obviously Fury has no mandatory, so this would be a voluntary defense. Okay? So Fury versus Ruiz. I would say that Ruiz, if I look stylistically at some of the other guys, you know, you're talking about, you know, Arsenal Makhmadov, Frank Sanchez, Joe Joyce, people like that. I would say stylistically, Ruiz would be the easiest for Tyson Fury. because Ruiz, yes, he is very fast. He's got very fast hands, good front foot counter puncher. But lest we forget, he's got slow feet, poor head movement, and someone like that, who Tyson Fury, we know what the blueprint is to beat Andy Ruiz. Joseph Parker did it to a lesser extent than Anthony Joshua did, but Joshua showed the blueprint. You keep him at range. You don't let him get close. When you do, you tie up close. You don't go and start punching with him at close range because he's the shorter guy. He's got the faster hands and the crisper shots at short range. You just don't do that. And you just keep him at bay. And I think Fury is better coordinated than Joshua. He's got better footwork. He's probably a little bit faster on his feet, truth be told, as well. So for me, it's a fight where Fury will just box him on the back foot, will look to take a few risks here and there and throw some big shots, but Ruiz, although he has been down in his career, obviously Joshua put him down, the Chris Arreola knockdown, a part of me feels as though that was a combination of balancing the weight, because he took it, he looked noticeably slimmer in that fight, even though he still didn't look, when I say slim, there's looking slim and then there's Andy Ruiz looking slim. Andy Ruiz is the ultimate catfisher. He would make some of those girls on Tinder go green with envy. How the hell does he make himself look like that when I can't? And then you see him in real life and you're just like, damn, what the hell were you doing with that picture? But he's only been down those times. But even then, when he was down against Joshua, which was the heavier knockdown, recovered like that. So he's not known for being someone when he gets dropped, he stays hurt. He'll get up, he'll go and start punching with you. So you always need to be careful with Andy Ruiz. You always need to be careful with him. And, as I said, I think this fight would be, look, it's not a bad fight. It's not, certainly. I'd watch it. I'd pay for it. Again, the guy's only lost twice in world title fights. And, there is that little element. You'd look at it and you'd say, okay, well, look, if Fury's feet aren't as quick as they used to be, if he's not able to box on the back foot for 12 rounds and he had to trade with Andy Ruiz, how would he come off with that? So it'd be an interesting fight. I wouldn't mind watching it. Again, I'd make Fury the favourite in terms of dimensions. Well, he's not. I think he's a little bit short than Alexander Usyk. He's obviously an orthodox, but it's reasonable enough preparation. I mean, you're going to be punching down at a target if you are fighting Alexander Usyk. Obviously, he's not a southpaw. He's an orthodox fighter, but still, I wouldn't say it'd be that bad. Look, I'd love to see Fury. I know this wouldn't be exactly fan friendly on the eye. I don't think it would be, but just because I think that this fight would have the potential to be a really, really, really intriguing affair, I'd love to see Frank Sanchez versus Tyson Fury. I'd love to see that fight, because Sanchez, to me, he really is a dark horse in the heavyweight division. The speed, the footwork, there is power there, but I think if you look at F.A. Ajagba, when they fought on the Fury Wilder undercard, F.A. Ajagba was, that went the distance, obviously. Ajagba, I think, was down at the 8th or 9th round. But Frank Sanchez really put Ajagba in his place early on in that fight, to the point where the corner was shouting at Ajagba, saying, step on the guy, you need to pull something out. But he just couldn't, because I think he felt the power of Frank Sanchez. Although Frank Sanchez, he's been showing it a bit more lately, wasn't showing it back then, is a harder puncher than his record suggests. He's very fast. I don't believe his age. If you do, I mean, I've got a bridge in London I can sell you. But he's definitely a fast heavyweight. He's got good footwork. He's a very good boxer. Someone like that against Fury, man, that'd be a good fight. Maybe not in terms of action, rock'em sock'em robots, but just it would be an intriguing fight the whole way through. I believe that would be. Fury going to take that. Frank Sanchez really is in the who needs you club, isn't he? Because Ruiz, he would bring name value over here. A lot of people remember from the Joshua fight. It's a decent win to have on your resume. It is, certainly. Whereas Frank Sanchez, it'd be like, who the look, I know you chance the casual fans, they'd be just like, who the hell is he? Who the hell is he? And if you God forbid you lose against him or you look bad against him, you'd be like, who's this guy you just look bad? He's garbage, and you're looking, oh, that's not going to go. I understand why he's not being talked about as an opponent. I get that, long-winded one here, but just my 2 cents on the Fury versus Ruiz situation. Look, I don't particularly mind it too much. As I said, I think Ruiz stylistically would complement Fury quite a lot, but I'd watch it. I'd pay for it. Be on pay-per-view, I'd pay for it. Why not? say it's a decent fight. There's always that little kind of unknown factor, as I said about Fury. Could he maintain the distance for 12 rounds? If he did take a risk, what would happen if he got clipped? All these little things would be interesting. Be very interesting. And saying that, how motivated would Ruiz be? This is a guy, once he made the bag against Joshua, motivation just took a big dip. Big dip. He went to Eddie Reynoso for one camp. And, by what you hear from things that were going on, even Eddie Reynoso and Canelo couldn't make a difference with him. Just one of these guys where it's like, and it really is frustrating with Ruiz when you see someone as overweight as he is, and with the attributes he has, you just think if you were in shape, god damn, you'd be a problem. It'd be a nightmare, because his feet would be a lot faster. Might even hit a bit harder as well. You just think, God, you'd be a flipping nightmare at heavyweight for most fighters. But it is that way. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video here, people. Smash the like button if you could. Again, hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. We're trying to get 12k as quick as we can. Let's smash that like button. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Peace.